I've always thought Egypt was a place dismissed where dreams escaped, cloaked in capes, darkened by sin, and that's why it's known as Kemit. But in Egypt, for 12 days I stayed and gained some insight about things that had always been in plain sight. Egypt is a symbol that you and I resemble, from desert sand to the beautified temples. Egypt is a mirror of the world. In Egypt of old, the Pharaohs believed there were gods, we were told. In the Middle Kingdom, some of the gods' blood was in them. In the last kingdom, there arose a new classism. No longer were pharaohs gods, but their special gem. An advanced civilization with surgical descriptions that defy our imagination, Egyptian hieroglyphs even showed them prescribing medicine in one of their inscriptions. We still don't know how they fully did mummifications. Moses even was educated in all the Egyptian ways. For 40 years, not just a few days. Yet he said no, although in many people's minds, Egypt's greatness was beyond measure. Moses viewed it as fleeting pleasure, looking onward to a greater treasure. Egypt gave Moses his name, even offered him its fame. But he who gives you life and the one promising gain are not the same. Indeed, Egypt is the place where Jesus for 8 years came. Only so what was written could be made plain. Out of Egypt I've called out my son. This was not about how Egypt was being run, rather about what God had done. Still, it shows through Egypt all humanity goes. Only so we can reject the evil that Egypt knows. However, Egypt too will be made brand new. Isaiah 19, God says, Egypt will be called my people. What God says here and what Egypt actually deserves are not equal. God will call Egypt and save it, and Assyria will become the work of his hands. This has always been a part of God's plan. He's always wanted to save this land. Maybe Egypt is a clear example of man.